Hi there, friends. Hi, Gigi. Who else is on here? Lynn, Janelle. Hi, Vicky. We're just going to give it a few seconds here. I missed you on Monday. Obviously, in the USA, it was Memorial Day, so many people were celebrating or honoring that holiday and remembering our people who served and gave the ultimate sacrifice in service to our country. I had a busy weekend, but it was really good. Seemed to go by super fast though, as they always do, right? Emily came home on Friday. She and I had pizza movie night. What else did? Saturday, I worked a good part of the day, and then she and I went to have dinner with Peter, and then we came back and watched another movie. Sunday, we were up and out kind of early, went to Andrea and John's. They had the whole family there for breakfast, and then we played some games outside, and then we all went to golf and had dinner over there. And then Monday, all the kids were here. Andrea and John brought over wedding stuff, and I live just 9 minutes from the wedding venue. So they brought all that here, and Emily was helping them. They were putting together bags for the bridal party and groomsmen's and parents' side. And I don't know what all they were doing, printing off signs and putting pictures in frames, but they were here pretty much all day and busy into wedding mode. And they were doing fine, so I sat here and worked and designed some more classes. So all in all, it was a lot of fun. It was a packed weekend, but a lot of fun, and got some productive work time in there as well. Happy June 1st. Welcome to Stampin' Peace with Mary Knabe. It's a new month, and we have a lot going on in the Stampin' Up world. First of all, I want to, I'm gonna switch this around so you can view it better. First of all, the mini catalog last chance promotion starts today, did start today, and goes through the end of the month. If you missed my catalog walkthrough, where I went through and showed you what products are retiring and what may be discounted, that is on my blog. You can also find it on my YouTube channel. Both of those are called Stampin' Peace with Mary Knabe. Or you can look for the replay right here on this Facebook page. With the blog post, I also have the PDF of the last chance list by page number. So some of you like the list, but I think most of you prefer the video walkthrough. And please note that anything on the last chance list is while supplies last only. So you want to shop early for best selection and best deals. Okay. Also today starts another promotion, the Kits Collection buy one, get one 50% off sale. So in our online kits collection, so it doesn't include Paper Pumpkin, does not include Memory and More packs. Somebody asked me that earlier. Just the kits in the kit collection. And the best way to find that is to go to my online store, maryknabe.stampinup.net, or you can go to my blog, stampinpeace.com. A lot of people, it's easier for them to remember stampinpeace.com, and just click on the shop icon and it'll take you to the online store. And then from there, click on shop products. There will be a drop-down menu, and you want to click on Kits Collection. And there, everything that is on that buy one, get one half off Kits Collection promotion will be right there. You can see the contents, you can see the finished products, you can see the price. One thing I want to point out though, and this is highly unusual for buy one, get one half price sales in any business I've seen. But Stampin' Up! Is allowing us to get half off the most expensive kit. And the way they are doing this is when you're in the online store, put your least expensive kit in first and the most expensive kit in your cart second. If you're buying 4 or 6, multiples, it should be every other one. The second, fourth, think of even numbers, second, fourth, sixth kits should be the more expensive ones, okay? Least expensive kit first, more expensive kit second, and then you'll get 50% off that more expensive kit. In my last Facebook Live, I gave a sneak peek of what I thought was going to be my next class to go, and that was with the Sweet Cherries bundle. That class is all totally done, ready to go. And then just before I went to send the email, I thought, I'm just going to check and see what the product inventory report is. And the decorative matte dots, which are included in that class, are not available. And the in color DSP was on low inventory. So I switched things around, and that class will hopefully be released next Sunday. I'm watching those inventory reports, but I hate to have people ordering that class and then it not to be available for the quick turnaround that I prefer to give my classes. So the current class to go is what I'm calling a mega class, and it uses the Happy Forest Friends bundle and it's the Happy Forest Friends suite. So the DSP, you get a full pack of DSP, and the bundle, Happier Than Happy, is the name of the bundle. It's stamp set and dies. But with this mega class, you will make 10 different cards. I don't do this very often because it's probably double, triple the work of the other classes I do, but every once in a while I like to throw in a mega class. So this one will be 10 different cards. One of them is a slimline. I'll just show you. Here's 3 real quick. I can show you. All right. This one's, they're all cute. Information is on my blog today, stampinpeace.com. Prices, options, what you get with each option. So I hope many of you will enjoy, will order that kit and enjoy putting together the Happy Forest Friends class. Like I said, the Sweet Cherries class is probably going to be next as long as the products are in stock. And I'm also working on a few others. One of them is True Beauty, and the potted geraniums class is almost finished and ready to go. So I'm trying to plan out several weeks of classes. Today, I'm going to introduce you to a brand new product. It is a die set that stands alone. It is meant to accent other cards and other products, other bundles and suites that we have. And it's called the Artisan Editions dies. So I'm going to flip my camera around right now so we can get started. I'll be making at least 3 cards today and giving them away, obviously. So you want to hang around and you want to invite your friends, because everybody loves some creative inspiration and the possibility of winning a free card. So please share this live video while I flip my camera now. First thing I want to do is show you the Artisan Editions dies. These are standalone dies, meaning they do not coordinate with a specific stamp set. They are meant to enhance our other products. And it comes with these 3 dies. So today I'm going to show you some different ways to use this one. If we have time, we will do the next one. And if not, we'll do both of these on the next Facebook Live. So with each of these, we get some very different looks. This is an overall background look. This could really, all of them could sit by themselves, really. This one I think is interesting because it cuts out the pieces and then you can see something behind it. And to me, this screams masculine. It could be used for a lot of different occasions, but you know, a lot of times we struggle with coming up with masculine card ideas. And I think this is one that would help us with that. And the one we're using today is this one. And I just die cut these in the bright Daffodil Delight color so that it's easy for you to see them. In fact, I'll tuck them back in here. You know, I'm going to give you guys a quick tip. I don't know if you've seen this, and I don't have these on a magnet, and I took them off the cardboard they came in. But when you get these, it comes like this, and the dies are in between this folder. And so I used to just take out the dies and stick them in this way so that the folder would still be facing up. But I found a lot of times if I had them on the cardboard or the magnets, I would get stuck trying to close that. So what I do now is I flip the folder. So the front of the folder is at the back. And then I put my dies in on the other side. So this way I just have a nice, smooth, easy closure. And you can still read the information on the folder, but just a little tip in doing that. So I have my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And I'm going to cut one of these out. All of these dies in this set are very detailed, so I'm going to suggest they cut well once, but they cut even better if you go through a second time. So either go back and forth or run it through twice. So by sending it through the Stampin' Cut Emboss machine an extra time or two, most of those little bits and pieces will fall right out. In fact, it cuts so well that on a lot of them, I was just doing this, literally just doing that and tapping out the pieces. See how nicely they all come out? And of course, if there's any left in there, you can use your take your pick tool. I'm also going to suggest before you put your die away or before you use it on your next piece of cardstock to cut, that you just check to make sure all of the cardstock is out of these little pockets, because if any's left in there repeatedly and that builds up in there, it just doesn't cut as nicely in that one spot. It's not a big deal if you miss one or two, but if you miss the same area repeatedly, it can make a difference in the die cutting. So now, I'm going to show you 3 different ways to use this. And, oops, I don't need that one. So I'm going to, you could use adhesive sheets if you want, but I think the multi-purpose glue works really well. Just use it very sparingly. I just put teeny tiny little dots here and there throughout the die cut. That looks pretty good, I think. So you don't have to have glue over the whole thing to make it stick well. And then I'm going to put it on the corner of this piece of white cardstock. So I'm doing a tone-on-tone card first. And I think I did well just getting a tiny bit of glue on there, so I'm not expecting any to seep out. But if you use your silicone mat or craft mat over that and press down, then you don't get any of that sticky on your hands for when you're putting together the rest of your card. And I decided to pull in a stamp from the Celebrating You stamp set. And when I first looked at this, I thought, well, it could be anything, but to me, I think it would make a beautiful wedding card. So I'm using Wishing You a Happily Ever After. We're in full-on wedding mode at my house. I'm picking up my dress tomorrow. Hopefully, it didn't need a lot of alterations. In fact, the length was perfect. So I'm picking mine up in the morning, and then Andrea has another fitting at 5. Emily got her dress altered. And just trying to take care of all those loose ends, you know, double checking everything. So maybe that's why I first thought wedding. So this is that piece. And this piece measures 3 inches by 4 1/4. And I'm going to layer this on top of another piece of white cardstock, and that one measures 4 1/2 by 3 1/4. So I've got 3 by 4 1/4, and then 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. One thing about doing tone on tone cards, especially white on white or vanilla on vanilla, they just make really simple, elegant, classy looking cards. Jenny Grayberg, you are on it. It is gray granite. Isn't that a beautiful color? I've been using that a lot lately. But I think it's just nice, and the gray granite, it can go either more of a taupe color or even shine a little bit gray in there. But I think a taupe color is a good way to describe it. So you can go with tans or you can go with grays for your color palette. And then these layers, I'm going to pop up on dimensionals. And I'm going to center this on my card front. Now, if you wanted to dress it up a little more, there's a couple things we can do here. We can add some of the new iridescent pearls. These are gorgeous. Did anybody get these yet? Oh, Holly, you're in wedding mode too. When is your wedding? So it must be one of your daughters, is that right? The other thing you can do is use some Wink of Stella and go over the die cut. Just real fine lines. You don't have to color it all in. It could even be just parts of it. And this will give just a simple, subtle shimmer to the card. And I won't do it all now, but I will finish that up for the person receiving this card. And then I will add just a few of the small size iridescent dots. Oh, your youngest is getting married, Holly. August 13th, yep. It is wedding season. How exciting. Wink of Stella is awesome, isn't it, Vicki? How many of you have Wink of Stella? I always make sure I have an extra one, because if it runs out and I don't have an extra one, it gets a little frustrating, because I think, oh, I had that planned. I wanted to use that. But isn't that just a pretty simple, elegant card? And you could switch out the sentiments Laura, welcome and thank you so much for sharing the video. All right, let's go on to our second card. I've got my samples over here, but I'm letting you be surprised. So for this, you are going to need a piece of scrap paper. And I'm just going to pull out, either I have so much scrap paper or none and I have to go to a new sheet. Usually I have bits all around me, but tonight we're going to a new sheet. And for this one, I'm going to color the right on the die cut with some of my Stampin' Blends. So I've chosen Parakeet Party, Polished Pink, and I have the dark Granny Apple Green. So I'm going to start with the flowers first. So some pretty polished pink flowers that kind of look like tulips to me. We go in with some of the dark shade again. And you can blend in just as much color as you want. And this is just regular white cardstock I'm using. And then I'm going to go in with the light shade of Parakeet Party. It almost looks fluorescent to me. And that's why I've chosen a little bit darker shade as well. Just to tone it down a wee bit. Although these are great summer colors, right? Almost give you a tropical island feel, right? I'm going to put some green in there, and there's some kind of larger leaf shapes in here, so I'm just kind of going over those. But it doesn't have to be, honestly, whatever you do, it's going to look great. It doesn't have to be perfect. If you want a little, some dark, a little bit darker green in there still, just go in with some of the Granny Apple Green. Even Old Olive, I think, would be a good one with this. But you can mix and match. You can make it any way you want, of course. But I think when you have different shades in there, it just makes it a little more interesting to look at. So there's the completed piece. And I'm going to do the same thing, adhere this to a piece of 3" by 4 1/4" white cardstock, just using little dots of multi-purpose glue. And even when you adhere this, if an area sticks up a little bit, that's okay. It's all right for it to lift off the paper a little bit. Oh, Fran, you're Mary, just got that set? Awesome. I saw that your Mary and her dog Jupiter had birthdays a few days ago. That was fun. So I have that. And you know, I should have stamped my sentiment before I added this, just in case, but I'm going to trust myself to be able to get it on there straight. So this sentiment, the thinking of you, is from the brand new Go-To Greeting set. I think I showed this last week. It's a repeat of some of the most basic sentiments, but in different sizes and with different fonts. So it's a great all-around sentiment set to have. It's also great for beginners because they get a good variety, and a variety not just of different sentiments, but also different sizes to use on their card making. So I've got the thinking of you there. And this time I'm going to put my dimensionals behind the stamp piece. And this is Polish Pink I'm using. Polish Pink ink pad and Polish Pink cardstock. And I was just looking at this, my nails almost match that perfectly. Too bad they don't name the nail colors in Stampin' Up! Names. And then I will add this to the card front. And this time, since I put my dimensionals between the two layers, I'm going to now adhere the layers flat to the card front. I'm going to add just a little wink of Stella on the flowers only. Just give them a little shine, maybe on their stem too. Carry it out a little bit. And then I think we will use, what happened to my, here they go. Those iridescent pearls once again. Now, you know, we have lots and lots of embellishments that you could use. I just decided to pull out these new ones and give these a try. And they just seem to really go nicely with the cards I'm making today. So what do you think of that one? So basically, the only difference between the two is the color. And we added the color with our Stampin' Blends to actually right to the die cut, and we get a totally different look. Kind of a more casual, more whimsical look with those bright colors. And then I have another one. Now for this one, let me move these out of my way. That's the only bad thing when I make lots of different cards. Sometimes I have a whole slew of projects. It looks real neat to you here, but I've got a mess going to my left. So for this, I've actually cut this out, die cut this from our Fluid 100 watercolor paper. So it is thicker and it does have some texture to it. And I will tell you, when I cut this out, again, I went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And remember that the watercolor paper is a little bit thicker than our regular cardstock. So you want to be sure to do that. Go back and forth. So for this one, again, I'm going to need some scrap paper. And this time we're going to do some watercoloring. So I'm going to use a clear block I'm going to put a drop of, yeah, I'm glad you don't see that mess, Jenny. And really, that needs to be the first thing I do tomorrow is clean up my craft room. After I go pick up my dress, of course. But yes, my floor is so bad right now. It needs a vacuuming, and that is the one thing that kind of drives me crazy when the floor is a mess. I don't care if stuff is out all over the place, but when I've got all those 8 million scraps of this, that, and the other thing on my floor, it kind of gets to me. And then I've got these aqua painters. These come in a set. They are in our annual catalog, and they're all a little bit different. So you've got a wide brush. I don't use that one too much. And then you've got a medium-sized one. My bristles are kind of stained, but that's okay. They're clean, so it still works. And then you have a smaller tip. One thing I want to tell you about these are kind of odd because they don't open and close the way everything else in our world seems to. You know, it's usually righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. These actually, you have to unscrew them backwards of what you would think. So if you have these and have thought, I can't open it, I can't get the water in because I can't open them, that's why. Think, play opposite day. We used to play opposite day when our kids were little. So you almost have to think opposite with these. So I'm going to just squeeze a few drops of water onto each of those colors of ink refill. And honestly, this goes a long way. This is more, I put one drop, believe I put one drop of each color on. And then you add water. You could do multiples of these. It goes a long, long, long way. Now here you can see it's a pretty bright, pretty saturated color. If you want to make it a lighter shade, just add more water. Okay, so you can see the difference here and here. Look, if I go right there where I've hardly mixed in any water. All right, so more water means a lighter, more saturated shade. But honestly, I like to just let whatever happens. Meaning that I just keep watercoloring until I kind of run out of color on that brush. So you can see that the last flower I did is lighter than the first one. So I can go back in and go over that more. This and the watercolor paper really does take on the water and the ink much better than our standard cardstock. If you really want to watercolor, definitely buy that watercolor paper. I want to say it's, I don't even know, $6. It's less than $10. And it goes a long way because you don't necessarily use that a whole lot. You can even just dab on color, not necessarily brush it. Then to clean your brush, you just rub back and forth. A lot of times I'll even just squeeze out some water over my Simply Chamois, and that draws all that ink that's on the bristles out. And then I'm going to start in with that green. And the colors of ink refill I used are Rich Raspberry and Old Olive. I love this color combination. I came across this color combination. I still can remember the class I was doing at my house in Cincinnati, but I was so excited about this one card that, well, I guess I get excited about all my cards, but this one in particular, I remember it just, for some reason, I felt like it was the best card I ever designed. And the colors were Rich Razzleberry and Old Olive. And to this day, I still love that color combination. You might even want to have a second piece of, or a larger piece of scrap paper, because it can get messy, as you see. I'm going to turn it and go over here to a place that's a little dry. Now you also might see some mixing of colors like I see right here. Let me pull this up higher for you. Can you see that? How the rich raspberry and the green kind of blended together? That's okay. That happens with watercolor. Just to get some more variation in the greens, I'm going back over some of these leaves and vines. And try to remember to clean up your aqua painters as you go along, or your blender pens, whatever you're using. Try to clean up as you go along. That way you don't forget to clean these. Because if you put them away and they're not clean and you pull them out the next time and you go to do, and you realize, oh, this still has Rich Raspberry on and I'm using Daffodil Delight. You know, you just want to be careful of that. So we're going to give this a few seconds to dry. And while it's drying, and I'm going to move this so I don't end up splashing ink anywhere, I'm going to use the With Deepest Sympathy stamp, and this is from one of my all-time favorites, Peaceful Moments. I was so happy to see that this rolled over to our new catalog, because I just really like it a lot. It's been around 2 years already, so I'm glad it's still here. So With Deepest Sympathy, and I'm going to stamp this in Rich Raspberry. If you let your watercolor paper dry for a little bit, it helps it to adhere better to your cardstock. Oh, not quite straight. I'm going to flip that over. That's better. You can see too that the Rich Raspberry ink, it actually looks much deeper right here. It'll lighten up a little bit as it dries, but remember that this Rich Raspberry was watered down, so that's why it looks a little bit different shade, even though we use the same color ink. Okay, so if you were going to make this card, what color combination would you use? Any ideas? Just laying my silicone mat over the top and pressing down. So that way I know it gets adhered real well. And just in case, I don't think any glue seeped out, but in case I had too much glue in one spot, the glue is not going to get on my hands. It's going to stay on that mat. Oh, Misty Moonlight and Just Jade. That would be pretty. Daffodil Delight, bright summery color. All right, so I'm going to adhere this now to a piece of Rich Raspberry cardstock. So my measurements these layers are the same as for the other cards. So 3 inches by 4 1/4 of the white, and then 3 1/4 by 4 1/2 for the rich raspberry. And I will put this on an old olive card base. Oh, that's going to look pretty. Now, I'm not sure I want the iridescent pearls on this one. But I do think I want to put some misty, a little of the Wink of Stella on the flowers. Very pretty. And then, of course, because we need a light color on the inside, I'm adding basic white, 5 1/4 by 4 inches. So there's the third card. So now we have made, should I put the, what do you guys think? Should I put the, hello from Miami. I'm so glad you're here for the first time, and I hope you'll be back for more. So here are the 3 cards we just made. What do you think? Should I use the iridescent pearls on the last card as well? But we used the same die cut, but we used it in 3 different ways. A white on white card. Here we colored the die cut with our Stampin' Blends. And then lastly, we colored with our ink refills and aqua painters. So these are aqua painter just filled with water. And you get 3 different looks. And of course, any of these, you can do any of the colors you want. You can make them for any occasion or any need. You know, Vicki, that's how I feel. I feel like on the first 2 cards, the iridescent pearls, I think, enhance the cards. But on this one, I'm afraid it's going to kind of detract from it. I think I'll leave it just like that. Okay, now, and don't forget, I will be giving away these cards. So hang on, because I'll give you something to type in the comments if you want to be entered into the drawing to win one of those. Now, I think we should make one more card just because I really want to use this. So let's think masculine. So give me some colors that you like to use for making masculine cards. So this is a creating on the fly, and you're going to help me create, okay? If you jumped in late after we made our first 3 cards, no worries. You can watch the replay afterwards right here on this page, Stampin' Piece with Mary Knabe. And then within a few days, I'll also post it to my blog and my YouTube channel, also called Stampin' Piece with Mary Knabe. All right, so I'm seeing early espresso, crumb cake. Misty Moonlight has retired, so I've pulled that from my selection. Night of Navy. Okay, let's work with some of these. Another Night of Navy. So let's pull out, I'm just going to pull out the colors that you said. We've got crumb cake. Ugh, my fingers are stuck. Early espresso and Night of Navy. Oh, thank you. It is fuchsia, but look how it matches. And I did not intend to do this. I don't take Stampin' Up cardstock with me to get my nails done, but it looks like the polished pink. Isn't that funny? Occasion Craze. Yes, that is one I use a lot too. Let me pull this one. Oh gosh, we can do all kinds of fun things with these. So now you've really got me thinking. Okay, start with, let's do, I'm trying to think, what should we put? Card base. Let's, oh gosh, I'm trying to think, how do I want to do the layers here? So we'll die cut one piece. I want that to be about 3 inches by 4 1/4. So let's say, let's go with this one. It's gonna be pretty close. So 4 1/4 by 3 inches. And then behind that, well, we'll see. So I'm going to die cut this. Whoops. Did you notice I opened a new set of the cutting plates for my mini machine? Oops, that's my sample. So remember, when you're die cutting something with a lot of small bits, small intricate cuts, you want to go back and forth a couple of times just to make sure those cuts go all the way through and you've gotten all of them. I think I'll do like that. So remember, on this one, it doesn't cut all the way around, doesn't cut out the shape. It just cuts out the pieces on the inside. Whereas the other 2 dies in that set also cut around the entire shape. So this is what I have. So let's try, I want to see what the blue looks like behind this. Night of Navy is so classic. Ooh, okay. Night of Navy. You guys take a look here. I'll pull out some different ones. There's Crumb Cake. And then lastly is, you know, they all can work, honestly. FC Cincinnati colors. What is that? The Cajun Craze and the, actually I should know that. Emily goes to some of those games. I think Crumb Cake, Cindy, I'm thinking like you. Put the Crumb Cake behind it. It brightens it up. So I want a piece of Crumb Cake cardstock. And you know, when I'm designing, this is what I'm doing. I just pull out colors and start mixing and matching and playing. And that's what helps us create. We don't have to have all the answers when we sit down to create. We can just design as we go along, which is kind of my favorite way to do it, really. So this will be 3 1/4 by 4 inches. No, 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. Sorry, 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. Oh, that looks neat. And then I'm actually going to use the early espresso for the card base, I think. And I'm even going to get the Night of Navy in there. I have a vision in my head of how this is going to turn out, so I hope you all love it, especially because you're helping me design it. So I'm going to put this here. My card base is going to be Early Espresso, and I'm not sure if I want a blue layer, or what I really think I want to do is, although let me see which direction. Maybe I'll make it go, I think I'll stick with the way I had it. So I want this to be 4 1/4 wide by, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna do 1 3/4, but it really could be anything. And I'm gonna slip this right behind there. What do you think so far? Barbara, that is right. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it, right? Cindy, I agree. Best things come from just doing. And you know what? Honestly, this is one of those crafts where you can make a mistake and that mistake becomes a happy surprise. You can just change it up. If you make a mistake, you know, other than you stamped something terribly wrong or something, you know, it didn't turn out right. But really, most anytime you make a mistake in this craft, you can easily fix it. So think of it that way, as a happy mistake. Oh my gosh, I am loving this. And honestly, you picked some of my favorite masculine. I need another sheet of dimensionals because I can't find mine on the desk. You honestly picked some of my favorite colors for creating masculine cards. If you've seen the He's the Man suite and that DSP, many of these colors are in that. You know, when we just go along and create, kind of let our mind and our creativity, imagination take it wherever it's going, it's actually more fun and it's more relaxing as well. Okay, so pop that up on dimensionals. I need a sentiment and probably some kind of embellishment as well. Let's see, let's look at, what else do I have for sentiments? Nothing striking me there. What else did I pull out? Oh, here's another favorite stamp set I love for sentiments. Inspired Thoughts. Sending healing thoughts your way. I kind of like this font with all the straight lines, the boxy look of this. It's your time to be remembered, to feel appreciated, and to know you are celebrated. Oh, that's kind of fun too. What do you think? Happy little accidents, that's right. Sheltering you with love. Thinking of you on your special day. Let's do that one. If I can find it here. Thinking of you on your special day. And then let's add this one to the inside of the card. So let me see here. I'm going to I'm looking for a particular punch. I want to see, this might be too big for that. But that could be just right. I think I'll just do, what about this? That's a little too close for me. I like there to be a little more spacing. So let me just stick with my go-to Banners Pick-a-Punch. And I'm going to cut this to 1 inch width. And I'm going to banner cut the end. And then I'm going to stamp this. So let me, just kind of estimating where I want to cut this off. We also don't always have to have things measured out just perfectly, right? Oh, you make a difference. Yes. I do like that a lot. And I have actually, Kim, I've used, or Lynn, I've used that stamp quite a bit. You make a difference every day. And honestly, isn't that what we all want? We just want to know that we make a difference to the people around us, our coworkers, our family, etc. And then I'm going to stamp. I think that's a little too long, so I'm just going to punch it again. I'm not straight, Mary. No, I should have just left it alone. No, I'm not getting it straight. Okay, a little better. All right, I need a clear block, and I'm going to stamp with Early Espresso. Nice, nice and straight too, right? I could have gone even a little bit narrower banner. I could have done 3/4 of an inch, but I do like this width here. The other thing I'm going to do is on the inside, where's my, I just had that. Oh, here it is. This is what I was looking for, but it's probably not long enough. So I'm going to stamp this sentiment for the inside, but I'm going to actually stamp it and punch it. Oops. Trying to think which direction I want it. I should have thought of that before I stamped, right? So if I want to go in this way, I need to stamp it. Okay. It is helpful, as you just saw, to look at the direction of the punch first before you stamp. Because on some of those, it does make a difference depending on which way you want it. I've got a piece of white cardstock. I think this sentiment I'm going to pop up on the front. You know me, I like my dimensionals. One thing too, when you're creating, remember, things don't have to be centered all the time. Balanced maybe a little bit, but we don't always have to have things perfectly centered or symmetrical. I'll put this inside. I'm going to put this in here, just at a slight angle. Like that. And I'm going to use just a little bit of twine, baker's twine, or this is actually the linen thread. And just do a small, simple bow. It'll be small and it's real thin, so it really won't make a difference as far as thickness, even though it's on the inside of the card. It's kind of a little surprise because usually we would think to put something like this with the bow on the outside of our card. So this will be a fun surprise inside. And I'm just going to put that on with a mini glue dot. If you kind of roll up the glue dot so that it adheres right behind that knot of the bow. I think that's kind of neat, a fun surprise right on the inside of the card. Not sure, maybe I want to trim those a little bit. What do you think? Do you like that tag on the inside? It's kind of a fun surprise. Definitely outside of the box, right? You do love it? Good, good. Okay, now I think we need some more embellishments here. But I don't want to use those iridescent pearls. Those are too dark. How about, oh, I like these. These are the rustic metallic dots. They're all the same color and they come in two different sizes, large and small. Here's, can you see that? There's a small one and then the large size. I'll put one up here. Remember when you're adding embellishments, that rule of odd numbers. It's kind of a design rule. You want to generally add embellishments in odd numbers. All right, what do you think? Oh, Lynn, you like the bow too? Okay, good. Good, I'm so glad. What do you think? Okay, I have to say I love all the cards we made tonight. Let me bring in the others, especially for the people who maybe weren't here at the very beginning. I showed how we used this die from the Artisan's Editions die set, and we used it 3 different ways. Just white on white. Here we colored with Stampin' Blends, and here we did watercoloring on the die using ink refills and aqua painters. And then this is a second die from that same set. And honestly, I love these, but this is so unexpected. I think this is my favorite one of the night. I might have to make some more of these. Great masculine birthday cards, thinking of yous, you make a difference. But I really like this masculine card. So thank you for helping me design that. You guys came up with all the wonderful colors for that. I would love to keep it, but I would feel a little bit guilty since you all helped me make this, so I'll have to make some of my own. But I will be giving away all 4 cards today. And I don't know what happened to the other die. It's here somewhere. If you could only see this mess. It's crazy. Do you want to see it? No, you don't. I'm going to show you, just so you know what I'm talking about. This is what my desk looks like after a Facebook Live and all the stuff around. And here you can see my messy floor. See why I want to vacuum? All right, so let me flip this around so I can see you or you can see me here. If I can, there. So I'm going to give away all 4 of the cards that I made in this live. And again, thank you so much for your participation. I love to be able to connect with you and interact with you. And it's even more fun when I get your input. So if you would like to receive one of the 4 cards made in tonight's live, I would like you to type Artisan Editions die. That'll help you and I both to remember the name of this. So it's, I'll hold it up. Can you see? Well, no, it's backwards now. Not going to help you. There we go. So it's right up here, Artisan Editions die. So, and this is the 3rd die, the one we did not use tonight, but we will definitely be using it another time. So this kind of just gives an all over background look. But I did think of a couple of different ways to use this. So perhaps this will be the next Facebook Live or one next week. All right. Thank you all for spending part of your Wednesday with me. I appreciate you. I enjoy you. And I wish you a good night. And I hope you will join me on Friday at 2 p.m. for my next Facebook Live and more creative inspiration. And if you like what you saw tonight, would you please share this Facebook page and this video, and also invite others to like the page and join us the next time around. Have a great night, everybody. Bye-bye. It doesn't want to turn off for me. Come on. What's going on? Oh, for heaven's sakes. This is crazy. Oh, there.